record. Is there anything anyone else would like to share before I jump into like my biggest takeaways from Soma? Oh, Co's on mute.
Oh, sorry. I was like, no, we want to hear about Soma. I actually couldn't watch anything because I was just like FOMO. So I was like,
Yeah,
don't fucking watch it. Just like, yeah. Anyway, so I'm excited to hear.
yeah. So I'll jump right into it then. So as you know, as all of you do know, I was very, very, very grateful and very lucky to be invited last year and also re-invited, qualified for this year. And I really wanted to talk about my perception of walking in first before I actually take away my biggest or share my biggest takeaways from this time round, because last year I really did walk in really feeling overwhelmed. Not that I was like that I wasn't actually worthy to be there, and because I was in a room of all of these women who I knew to be successful business owners, I felt really out of place. And that wasn't just in my business, it was also in myself. I felt really like I didn't love who I was. And I really was kind of like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Is there this facade here? What am I doing? Like, I was still navigating how to actually manage a business and also show up in the birth space. And there was just so much shit going on, and everyone knows. And something that Jay-Z said to me on the week last week was that starting a business, an online business, is also the biggest self-discovery process you'll ever go through. And I feel like that really rings true, especially here, because you are the business, right? We are the business. We are building a you know all right, I'm lost for words. We are building a like, we are the business. We are selling ourselves so we can show up as our true authentic selves and actually attract people that love us and want to work with us and all of these things. And I felt like I was just like, I'd have I didn't know what to expect. And also last year I walked in there and there was content going on everywhere. And I walked in like, I was really open to being there, and it was a really healing space for me. And I really opened myself to having some really beautiful friendships, and all really soul aligned, no surface level bullshit. Like, it was like I walked away from that 4 days and was just like, okay. But we do a branding shoot every year, and last year I was just like, I was crying because I didn't actually even want to take photos. Like, the photos from last year to this year, you can tell the evolution of me. And I really love that. And I'm really excited to share the difference once they actually do drop into my inbox, because it's just like, I'm just really proud of who I've become in this last 12 months, even though all of the shit that I've actually been through. And I know everyone's got their own shit, but it's really hard when it's your shit. And I think that we all need to honor that, because all of us have got like lots of stuff going on. And, growing a baby is really hard, and birthing a baby and navigating this world once you become a mother, and, transitioning from maiden to mother is such a prolific journey. Like, it's just like, it changes you as a person. And we are all mothers in this space, all going to be mothers in this space. And it's something that I just wanted to really speak to, because it's something that we all really need to honor as well. But that was kind of how I encapsulated last year. I was really scared. I walked about away like, oh yeah, maybe I'm supposed to be here, and this is really exciting, and I get to work online and all of these businesses, and just being in Soma. And that was really kind of the catalyst for me changing my life. And one of those big things that we wanted to do this year was move up to the Northern Rivers, and we've achieved that. And that's a really big thing there, which is amazing. So when I walked in this year, and I was just like, I was really open to receiving, because I knew magic happened there. And um, it was really it was just, I walked in and I felt like it was kind of home. It was a different group of women, and I felt like they were really wise women. And anyone that knows like Jane Hardwick Collins, I really felt their vibe there. Like, she's really like really wise women, a lot of older women. Like, the oldest woman there was 60, and which was really cool. And it was kind of like learning from generations that have gone before you as a woman, because it's women's work birth. And I also feel like my ideal avatar and who I work with in this space are women. So that was really cool. And just seeing different perspectives, because there are a lot of people that, one second, guys, sorry. Did you see my death eyes?
To a monkey.
Reggie just wanted to tell me that he was watching The Lion King tonight. So he's like, but yeah, it was just kind of, I walked away, I walked in there and yeah, I knew magic happened there. And it was also, yeah, the level of women, the generation of women, like there was lots of maidens, mothers and crones. There were a few women that were all older that hadn't had kids yet. And it was really cool to see how they navigate it. And there was women there from Dubai, and there was women there from New Zealand, and there was women that had flown in from Finland. And so it was a lot of just to understand how big Enagic is and that it is a worldwide business really blew my mind. And I walked into, Megan Hughes was there, and I've actually been working with her for energy work. And this is my first takeaway. So I've got 9. I've got 9 really good ones, but my first one is the importance of energetic work, self-care, and filling up your cup. You always need to be the best version of yourself so you can spill that onto other women and attract that into your business, because there is no use just doing the work because you feel like you need to do the work. You need to be in that energetic aura that, you know, you can read energy, you can read through the screen, you know, if you're just there because it's the one thing that you have to tick off your list today, or if it's because I really want to share this business with other women because I know it's life-changing. And it's very different. And I have been working with Megan for about 12 months on so many aspects in my life. And she had like a group Reiki session, and I had a massive release that had been pent up energy for a very long time. And it was more so to my grief around, you know, my husband's dad passing away, as well as losing my dad at the same time, because he has actually decided that he doesn't want to be involved in our lives anymore since we've moved up here. So there's lots of stuff that had been going on there. And it was always, for me, I always felt like I wasn't actually good enough for my dad. And because he always, even to this day, he's like, why don't you just go open that dance studio that you talked about when you were 17? Like it was just something that he didn't actually know me. And the importance of this energetic work is because if you don't invest to be the best version of yourself and actually heal yourself on an energetic level, you don't heal and you don't connect with your inner child. And your inner child is always the one that's here, that's like, okay, do I actually need to do this? Like, what is, you know, so-and-so from year 9 that used to bully me at school going to think because you still got them on Facebook? Or, you know, what does, yeah, I'm not good enough to do this, or all of these things. So it's just kind of, hey, Doyle. So it's just like, I really think that the importance of energetic work and just being the best version of yourself, and that can look different for other people. For me, it's like I do monthly Reiki healing sessions with Megan, because I actually feel that the energetics of this business, like it's never ending. I feel like I need to really show up, and sometimes, like, I am scared. It's really hard to do this work, but it's also I'm choosing my heart, and you know, you're building that business with yourself, like I said before, and you are the product, really. So that is my first takeaway, and that can look like different for other people. That can be, you know, sitting in circle with women and actually opening up and having like soulful conversations and no judgment. It can be, you know, reaching out to an energy healer. I know we've got Megs, and we've also got Georgia in our collective who are really, really good. You know, there's Adelina. She's got some amazing containers at the moment. And it's just who works best for you. So there are a lot of people out there. The second biggest takeaway was buying in bulk. And buying in bulk is a story that Christy shared with us. So Christy, Exod is local up in Byron, and she came in just for a 90-minute mastermind that literally blew my mind. Like, she's just the coolest woman. She is so down to earth. Like, I feel like she was dropping like fuck shit here, there, and everywhere. Like, she's just a normal woman, but she's also a millionaire, and she's done this. And if she can do it with 3 babies on her titties, she can do it. Like, she has been breastfeeding this whole time. Like, if she can do it, we can do it. And I feel like she's just breathed that inspiration into me a little bit. And she actually shared a story about buying in bulk. So she went to Vancouver when she started this business, and she was a week in, I think it was a week or 2 weeks in. And somebody she doesn't even remember their name, somebody that was presenting, no, actually, it was Balaj. She went to Balaj's house. She went to Balaj's house, and she saw all this toilet paper, and she was like buying in bulk. And it was like a switch for her. And it was about shifting from that scarcity mindset to the abundance mindset. And it's something as simple as, like, she was buying, two rolls, like the cheapest rolls of toilet paper, and making them last as long as forever, like so long, and then like actually buying toilet paper that she's got an abundance of for the rest of her life and never has to worry about. And it's just like buying in advance and investing in advance and trying to yes, definitely shift from that scarcity mindset to abundance mindset. And that was a big takeaway from me, because as a mum, I feel like I've lived week to week. As a woman, I feel like I've lived week to week in my 20s, and, at the beginning of my motherhood journey, and being in lockdown and all of those things, and not having a lot of money, where now I kind of have switched that and have looked at, well, if I buy this much, I save this much in the long run, and I don't actually have to worry about it. So I look at it like a weekly expense or a monthly expense or whatever it has to be. So that was my second biggest takeaway. My third takeaway, which I would love to share with you guys, is filming your own webinar. There is nothing more potent than sharing a webinar that has you at the forefront. And I also want you guys to kind of think about what would best suit, like what type of webinar would best suit your ideal avatar. So for me, my ideal avatar is women who are not wishing to return back to work after maternity leave. And a lot of the time, they don't have a lot of time. So you would be looking at making like what I'm in the process of doing, and I will be filming it on Friday, is just a 30-minute quick webinar that really just kind of scratches the surface, but also piques their interest, because mums don't have a lot of time, and sending through a 90-minute webinar for them to sit down and really, ingest and get all the information and not feel so overwhelmed, but also not have you on that webinar, can really be that disconnect between building that rapport with you and then kind of feeling like, oh, they've just passed me on to somebody else. So I would highly recommend you guys exploring. I don't know if any of you I know Clarinda did a webinar at the beginning. I know Cherie and I have done one before, but really looking into doing your own webinar, I feel like that would make a massive shift in your converting, especially once you've got those, you're sending a video of yourself that really explains the business and the opportunity and the product. So definitely think about that. And also, my next one was focusing on directs always. And Christy was sharing this. So even at 6A2-5, she is now. So Clint's got a -5 position, and she's got a -4 position. So they're just about to have 2 more positions go legacy. So they're making bank here. So, and she had said to us over the week, like last week, that she doesn't have to work anymore, but she loves what she's doing. And she also feels like it's a disservice if she doesn't share this business model with other women. But also, if you don't continue to focus on directs, and especially knowing that this business is not a saturated market as yet, there are so many people that are missing out on this like life-changing water. But also, if they don't see you, who are they going to go to? And they could be an epic builder. So it's just always thinking about direct sales. And also, once you get to this kind of tier up to like in the compensation plan of like 6A2-3 and above, you do need to make directs, and it's 1 a month. I'm pretty sure from memory. Don't quote me on that, but I will let you know, or double check, to actually get access to all of your bonuses. Sorry, it's not 1 a month, it's 1 every 6 months. So that is another important thing. But it's, when you've got that momentum in your business, it actually becomes easy at that point. So that's another thing that I took away. So that was number 4. And number 5 is always pivoting and trialing new things in your business. I have put so much money into ads that have flopped. I have also boosted ads or Instagram reels that have also been shit. And I've also tried the TikTok strategy, which didn't work for me. And it just didn't feel aligned with me. But what I want to say is always pivoting and trialing new things. You're not going to know what works for you if you don't try. But I also want to acknowledge that it does need to align with your values, and it does need to feel good for you. I have started this, like, as recently. What really works for me is reels. I don't get any traction on like static posts or carousel. It just doesn't work for me. And I've also always got a Instagram reel boosted. I have tried meta ads and I didn't like it. It just didn't feel good for me. And I also don't use Facebook. I just don't use it. I've got it there in case I want to do meta ads down the future, and I am seasoning it, but it isn't something that really works for me. So most of the time, my traction in the social media space is on Instagram. But what I've actually been pivoting to now is really, which goes into my next point, is networking and connecting with people in your life. Like, sharing this business with conviction when people ask what you do for work. And also, like for me, I'll give an example. We have a bathhouse that we've got locally that I've just joined up in, and I've got unlimited access for $50 a week. And it's a business expense because I'm networking, and I can actually use it as a tax write-off. And I go in there, they always have events. So they have full moon events, they've got new moon events, they've got women's circles, they've got all of these things. And I've actually started using that as my next networking strategy and connecting with like-minded women in my area. I also have gone to like the local Whole Food place, and have become really good friends, like annoyingly really good friends with the owner, because that's my next thing, is putting a loaner in there and gifting it to them so they can have people come through and actually try the water. And also that's my idea with Exhale, the bathhouse. And I've also started Reformer Pilates, which is like the only Pilates studio inside. I've also found out that I'm the only Enagic distributor in Yamba, which is wild to me, but like, what an opportunity. So I've really had to kind of like, it's actually forced me out of my comfort zone, because I don't want anybody else coming in here. So I'm just inviting you guys to really think, okay, what could work for me? For you, Co, if you're going to if you're having like a blessing, or like your step classes that you used to do, or if you're going to a women's physio at the moment, like actually explaining the benefits of the water to them, or like a chiropractor. Amazing. Like, there's so many people in Twerk and this business that aren't actually utilizing their loaner machine at the moment, or have it out, or have and kind of making it like a sweeten the deal, and actually gifting it to them. That's what I took away last week. Was Megs is actually gifts her loaner machine to the local Pilates studios up in Cairns, but only has it there for 2 weeks, takes it away, and then kind of gets them to say, oh, we really miss the water, and then it starts a conversation from there. So just kind of really thinking out of the box and what could work for you in your life, because we are very lucky that we have a time leveraged business, and we have monetized our social media. So just kind of think, where do you go every day? It could be school pickup, it could be like anything that really feels aligned to this kind of business. Even just dropping a seed, dropping a rock, and the ripple effect from there. Like, it's just it doesn't have to be something that happens straight away. Most of the time it is a nurturing relationship, but if you are not sharing what you do with conviction, there is somebody else that's going to come in there and grab it. So just think about it like that. Amazing, Co. So what I would actually love for you to share, how have you found building relationships offline so much easier than building online?
So for me, I just like I'm a people person. So I love being out and about, and wherever we go, I guess I'm always talking to people. Like Lyndon always laughs because he's like, babe, like, can you just shut up today? Because I just need to get like ABC done or whatever. And I'm like, no. So I'm like very chatty with everyone. And then I've kind of built relationships, yeah, like with the local chiro that I go to. I've gone to a new physio as well. Hubby's at a new gym, which is like, I guess they're targeting the more elite, like people that really want to get into their performance and stuff. So, yep, the health food store that you were talking about, just I guess building relationships and like letting people know that I do work with a Nagic. And they're like a few people have been like, but the more I like talk to them, or the more they ask me about like, hey, how's your week been? Or, you know, what have you been up to or whatever? And then I talk to them, they're like, holy shit, like this is actually legitimate. It's not some fantasy world scam. Like she's in it, she's doing it. I can see them watching my online, which is awesome. So yeah, I guess just building that connection and then hoping that, yeah, like the loaner machine, I've been really slack and had it amongst my family, and pulled the plug, I think last month. I got it back, did the e-clean. I bought some filters, some pre-filters, because I want to like deliver it both together. I basically don't want to work with anyone that's not going to put a pre-filter on it, because I just don't think they're going to get the value out of it. And a lot of conversations have kind of stemmed from that as well. Like, oh, like, what are you drinking? Like, what do you drink now? Or how are you hydrating? Like, I've been around a lot of pregnant mamas, and they're like, oh, I use like Hydrolyte and all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, you don't need that. Like, so that's actually opened up conversations, because lucky for us, like I know Sarah as well, we're not dehydrated. Like if we are, it's because we're not fucking drinking the water, which is me sometimes. So yeah, I think it's just being open to having conversations, and you don't have to plug the water immediately, like not at all. Just build if you vibe with someone, go for it. If you don't, then obviously don't. And then it's kind of just come up in conversation, like, you know, why are you here at a physio at 12 o'clock and then you're going to lunch with your friends? Like people are just like, I don't understand. Don't you work? And I'm like, I am working. So yeah, for me, in person is so much easier than online, I guess, because you're forced to speak to people. Like, but yeah, I do need to get out of my comfort zone and show up consistently online. Like I know that myself. And I'm going to have to do that, given baby's going to make me be at home a bit more. But yeah, last minute Larry, like I'm sure baby will come and I'll be on the bouncy ball like Michaela going, yeah, I'm like ready to go now. So yeah. You're
Can you hear me?
yeah.
Are you like, from what you've shared, are you open for some feedback from me?
Yeah.
So I was just going to say like three things that really like landed for me. I was actually going to say the first thing I wrote down was speak to Mahela. Like I'm actually thinking about getting her, inviting onto one of our calls, especially for you and Says, as like you about to birth your babies, just to see how she's prepped her business before Soul actually arrived, because she shared some stories last week, and she didn't actually hustle that much during that postpartum period. She really utilized it. So leave that with me. I'll actually speak to her this week, or if you want to reach out to her directly, she's more than welcome to help. She is like an open book and like loves supporting women in this space. So like I invite you to do that. The other thing was, I know you mentioned that Doyle was at the gym. He started a new gym. Just a content idea I've seen it around is like actually sharing like celebrities and sports celebrities and people that actually like use Kangen water, who are professional athletes, actually starting to make some content like that, and even like networking with the gym, starting to like the gym, and even like going through and seeing if there are any women or men there that you feel are your vibe, and not that you have to like them, or like we know we're looking at, for you at the moment, I know you're doing like an organic business, like you haven't got any ads running at the moment, is that correct?
No ads running. Every time I do boosted reels,
Yeah.
I have good success. Like if it's about specifically about the water, I
Yeah.
feel like they're time wasters. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I need to, yeah, I'm gonna do what you were saying before, just boost one,
Yeah.
have at least one boosted. And I think there's been some of my reels that have been super successful for the business side. So I'm just gonna, until I get my shit together, just boost something.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And have you got an introduction reel?
Probably not.
Okay. You're right.
I literally need to get like the basics up.
Okay. I would recommend everyone getting an introduction reel, because that is actually where I get most of my leads from. So I have got my introduction reel on Instagram boosted, and I'm happy to share it with you all. I'll drop it in the call afterwards. It's just a simple 1 minute video, and I have just done a voiceover of me living my life and really just explaining what I do, who I am, kind of my core values and beliefs at the beginning, and then kind of go into what I do and how I'm able to work online, and how I support women to make an abundant income and all of these things while they're home with their baby. And it's just a 1 minute snippet, and I have got so many people every day. I reckon probably about between 5 and 10 people every day messaging me for more information. Yes, most of them are flops, but if I don't actually have that out there, I wouldn't be getting any at all. So that is like, that's one that I've always got constantly going, and I actually redo it every 6 months or so, just so I can, because obviously ever evolving as a woman, everything's changing and you've got different things going on in your life. So something to really consider. But yeah, the gym reel was just to really actually look into seeing which businesses, sorry, not businesses, athletes. There's a lot of them out there, that professional athletes that actually use Kangen water, and actually kind of sharing that, and maybe just like liking a few comments.
Yeah, I was trying to find like all of that kind of stuff, because Lyndon does eventually want to start his own page and plug it as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got food like stuff.
No, that's okay.
So yes, we'll definitely do that.
All right, no problem. If I see anything, I'll send it through to you just as an idea.
Awesome.
Okay. And the other thing is, and this is with an open heart, like it's with the pre-filters, and you're not wanting to work with anyone that doesn't want to use pre-filters on their water.
Yeah.
If that was me, I would think it's a disservice not to actually share the business opportunity with women, because there are women that I am working with that have, that, or I've got like in conversation, that don't actually have pre-filters on their their K8s, but also like the business side of things, they're using it to create an abundant, income, or they're like traveling around Australia and they don't have pre-filters on their caravan, or just something like that. I think that if you give them all the information and let them make the decision.
Oh, totally. Yes, I should
Yeah.
have said that. I was going to say, like I always do. And
Yeah.
the 5 women that have bought from me have all got filters, which I was happy about, because I kind of gave them all of the info and they were like, okay, awesome. So yeah, totally. Like I'd obviously prefer someone to be in that position, but yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm not going to completely cut them off.
No, absolutely. And I know that. I just wanted to say that just in case.
Yeah.
But Cherie wants to say something about the filters, but just before I invite her on, I just wanted to say as well, I actually send all that information, when I'm having that conversation, like actually let them know the quality of their water and how shit it is, and that I actually really highly recommend a pre-filtered system. And a lot of them have actually gone and done full house filters. That have just bought the K8s, which is like amazing. But yeah, Cherie, you're more than welcome to come out and share about the filters as well.
Sorry, I won't put the video on because she just like jumps on the screen.
No, it's okay.
I've been here the whole time. Yeah, just something really, like we got our first K8 and we didn't actually have pre-filters for God, I can't actually remember now, but it was 6 or 12 months. And seriously, just going, and we always filtered our water before we did ionizing the water. And we noticed a difference straight away before we pre-filtered. So I thought that at the time, like I was like, oh, they need pre-filters, blah, 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 blah. But then I thought back to when I first got my K8, and I was like, anybody that hasn't had ionized water will feel the difference before they even get the pre-filters. So do you know what I mean? The pre-filters then because you get used to the ionized water, then you get the pre-filters and then it just takes it up the next level. Because you know what I mean? And for me, when we invested in our first K8 before we then went and invested in a quad, we just actually couldn't afford pre-filters because it's like another $500 outlay, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we had huge beneficial, like health benefits before the pre-filters were in there as well. So, you know what I mean? I'd be saying to anyone, yep, ionize your water first, and then you want to look at pre-filtering down the track. And it's, you know,
11, 12.
that's it.
Definitely. Thanks, babe.
Yeah, I just experienced it firsthand. You know what I mean? And I remember how the ionized water by itself was so drastic before the pre-filters, and then the pre-filters just took it up again. You know what I mean? So they're going to benefit just from the ionized water anyway, really. Because some people don't give a shit about fluoride. Some people really don't give a shit. Fluoride in your water. People don't give a shit about stuff like that. So you know what I mean? It's only us that
I know.
So like,
I've just turned into this mad fucking water snob. But I won't even drink water from the Magic head offices because they're not fucking filtered. But that's just me. And I did test the ORP at head office, and it's like 70, -70, whereas I can get like 300 at home. So I do see that you still get the advantages. I think I've just become a fucking water snob. That's
Yeah.
it.
it's official.
But yes, love that you still got to see the difference. That's awesome.
Thanks, Sherry. That was thank you. So just going back to the loaner machine and actually utilizing our quad strategy and have those loaners out. I don't know if you guys have seen, but Carrie and Steph are doing a 4-week basic program that really focuses on the K8 itself, and really how to approach businesses and get them in there. To be quite honest, I feel like you are all water snobs and you know your shit. I just think it's a business side of things, and actually approaching businesses, which I spoke to another woman while I was there last week, Tam, and she has actually just printed out everything that is in the loaner, loaning out your K8 module in the hub. It's really self-explanatory. I actually went in there yesterday because I'm actually going to get one from Megs. She's got a spare one that I'm just going to pay for and actually start utilizing. But it's so simple. I have just printed out everything in there and I've put it into like an A4. I got this from the op shop for 50 cents. Like, it's not that much. Like, it's just and then giving that to them and just making sure that they are aware. Like, when you set it up with them in this, let them know what the do's and don'ts. Don't put the hot water in, but it's like they've literally got a step-by-step do's and don'ts checklist in the loaning out your K8. And because I am gifting them and they are people that are my friends now, I haven't decided if I'm actually going to get them to sign a loaner contract, because the exchange there is the business that I get back from them. Like, it's not a money exchange. So that's personal preference for each and every one of you. So just think about that before you do actually get them into businesses. And got 2 more takeaways that I really didn't want to touch on just quickly before I open the floor for questions is always know your numbers. I expect every one of you to know your numbers now, like how many sales you've got. I have actually set up a Notion template that Rachel, my beautiful friend Rach shared with me that is just so simple. It's not like crystals, it's not in depth, it's not like overwhelming, which I invested in and I just felt like I couldn't use because she had set it up for somebody with a business that is massive. So I've actually really simplified it. And I am in the process of placing all my sales underneath and where they are in my businesses and my 4A Econ. What goes to my 8 points when I open my 5A Econ, who's underneath there, if they're builders, if they're just a a consumer sale, if they've just got a K8 or anything like that. And we all know that it's 101 sales to reach 6A. We all know that we have the 300,000 K that we need to reach, and we all know that we have to have 10 sales, machine sales in a 1 month period to actually hit 6A. So there's a few things that you need to tick off, which we will definitely speak more in depth to once we get to that point. But just knowing your numbers, and if you are utilizing most of you guys have come in on a quad and utilizing the quad strategy with the 2A Econ. Once you have a 4A Econ, building up your 4A Econ until it's on par and then going 1 for 1, because we want you guys to actually hit 6A2 at the same time. And if you own both your businesses, your 6A, your 2A Econ and your 4A Econ, if you're going 1 for 1, it all feeds back to your top position, which is 6A. And then if these two go 6A at the same time, 6A2. 6A2-2. So it's just really knowing your numbers and really, I know the compensation plan is really overwhelming and it's only taken me until now because I had a really in-depth strategy with Tiff and Jay-Z while I was at Soma that I actually understand where everything goes, but it is actually quite simple. So I would really recommend you guys, every time you make a sale, go into your back office and understand the backlog of it, because you really want to know where everything is. And we all know that Econ renewals, if we have got people that have come in on like a business package, that they do become permanent after that 3, it is permanent after the 3 renewals. But if you are building under an Econ, you need to always keep it active. Always, forevermore. It is your only overhead with your business. So if you've got a 2A and a 4A Econ, it's about $7,000 for the year. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've shared my story with you all. I have let it lapse once and it was a shit show. And I was very lucky and I'm very grateful that I was able to reactivate it before they got really, really good at not, before they got real, like you weren't allowed to do it anymore. And I missed out on $10,000 of commission. So that's just kind of that's my story. So I just want you guys to really understand that it is very important. And what I've actually started doing is putting $50 away every week. So I've always got that money there for when it comes, $100 away every week for when it comes up, because I've actually got my 4A renewal that is supposed to be renewed on the 1st of November. And I'm going to start my other one at the same time. And I'm just going to up it to $200 a week that I'm putting away. So I always know that it's always at the same time and I don't have to worry about it. So importance of Econ and importance of knowing your numbers, and very, very good. And the last thing that I really want to touch on today is to not cap your dreams. This is a business that can really change your life if you allow it to, and if you put the hard work in. And I am guilty of this. I really capped my dreams. I just thought, especially before this, last week, that $10,000 months would be really, really amazing. But in the big, it's not going to change my life. 120,000 a year. It's not. I'm not going to be able to really, buy things outright. I'm not going to be able to travel the world with my family from a scarcity mindset and living week to week still, even though we're able to do that. The thing that I want for my family is complete and utter financial independence that allows me to spend as much time with my family as possible. That means homeschooling my kids. That means being able to pay cash for our homestead. That also means that we will have investment properties and actually investing our money into, secondary, third, fourth, so many streams of income. And that's like, this business allows you to do that. And Jay-Z shared last week that there was this guy who was, and we were just about to go into our future pacing script, and the magical script, and everyone knows the beauty of that and how amazing it can be, and really actually speaking belief into yourself. And I realized how capped my dreams were after she shared this story. And she was speaking to a guy that had this dream about changing the world over in Africa. And he was speaking about a medical center and just changing putting a medical center in one area in Africa, which we know it's not a good place to live. It's a third world country. And really, in the big scheme of things, what is one medical center going to do? And he had an investor standing next to him. And while he was talking, he wrote his name backwards and gave it to him. And the guy was like, "What are you doing? What's this?" He goes, "You are boring me so much with how capped your dreams are that I have actually written your name backwards." And that's what that says. And it was a really big wake-up call for me. And it was something I really took away, because I had been doing the exact same thing. I was really living small, even though I thought my dreams were big, but they were always capped. It was always like, oh, like, for example, I moved to the Northern Rivers. That was one thing I wanted to do. And I feel like that's good enough. It's actually not. Like, I want to be able to, buy our homestead here in cash and not have to be reliant on a bank. I want to be able to buy apartments everywhere that I want to be able to live in Australia and pay for those in cash, or have very minuscule mortgages and be able to pay them off very, very quickly. Like, dream big, guys, because when you dream big, it feels really fucking good and it feels really stretchy, but anything is possible when you actually put your mind to it. And I just think we're very lucky. We are, paving the way for the next generation. And most of us are the first in our lineage to actually do this. And what a gift this is, to share this opportunity with other women who want to raise their children in the same way, but aren't able to, because they actually don't understand that there is another why. So they are my top 9 takeaways. And if you guys have any questions or really would love to, jump in and share anything, please do so, because I am happy to do that until you guys are done. Yeah.
Sorry. Thanks, Lucy.
That's
I
okay.
was going to jump in. Thanks for sharing. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any. There were 7 takeouts, weren't there?
There was 9. So I've just done like,
So
I
I've
know.
missed 2. I'm so sorry. So
No, that's okay.
I've got energy work. So
Yep.
like if buying in bulk,
Mm-hmm.
your own webinar,
Yep.
focusing on your direct sales,
Yep.
always pivoting and trialing new things,
Yep.
know your numbers, and don't cut your dreams.
Okay. And then the 2 before that were networking and connecting.
Oh, okay. Sorry, hang on.
Yeah.
Networking. I did hear it all. Networking.
No, that's okay.
And connecting. So more face to face.
Yeah, more face to face.
Yep.
And utilizing your loan machine. So if that's something, if that's something that you feel that you are having trouble with, or if you like, I actually genuinely don't feel like any of you have a disbelief in the K8. I really feel like you understand the magic of it and how important it is. We all use it every day, multiple times on all different functions. It's just really kind of just getting your sales script real good, and having that conviction and the ability to actually come in conversation with people. If you are cold, you're walking in there cold, but like I said before, actually building that rapport and actually becoming friends with these people, you can actually just be in the middle of a conversation and be like, "Hey, I've been meaning to ask you, are you open for me to share? I work with a Nagic and I would love for you to explore electrolyzed reduced water, and having that in clinic, I really think it would be of benefit to your clients." And then that could just be it. And then they would be like, a normal person would be like, "Oh, tell me more." and then that's where the conversation starts. And it would always be a business conversation, and not kind of being like a yes man, because we really do want, it is your business, okay, and there needs to be those boundaries there. So was one of them. And then the other one, yeah, utilizing your loan machine and networking and connecting. So that it was like 6 and 7 all meshed
Yeah,
into
I
one.
morphed them all together.
Yeah.
7 and 8 together in my
Yeah.
notes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally honest, like in a total honest, transparent thing.
No, good.
From listening to all of that. I'm great at face to face. I'm ex-sales, all the things. My biggest thing is the belief in building a business, because the reality of it is I've been in this business for a year and a half doing it, and I haven't got the results. So, some people might want to say, oh, you've had your foot in and out, you haven't done enough, have you pivoted, whatever they want to say, whatever angle they want to say. But I know I've done a lot in a year and a half, and I still haven't got the results. And I'm a very smart, educated woman. I know what I'm talking about. I love the water. So when these people are there, it's the inner voice of the actual reality that I haven't built this business or got to 4A or 5A within the time frame that I honestly thought was realistic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a huge disconnect in that, because it's all well and good. Yeah, we can all talk about our own journeys and everyone's on a different path and all these things. But if you've been consistently doing the do and invested wholeheartedly, done all the things that we've been doing, and you can't actually back that up with the results, because at the end of the day, I can say I've been doing the business, but I can also show the actual remuneration of what I've earned from doing that business for that amount of time. Do you know what I mean? So there's like that missing gap. If I was selling this to a mother that was at home with her baby, for example, how could I honestly say, oh, I've been doing my business and making this money? Yes, I've been building my business, but I haven't been earning enough to support us. You know what I mean?
I know
You
exactly what
understand?
you mean.
So it's like there's the disconnect in itself. I'm great at sidestepping all that stuff. I know what words to use. I'm building my business. It's it's a growth thing. I look at the bigger vision. Your business isn't going to be overnight. It's, there's so much to learn, and there's so much evolution within the business. I mean, everybody has a different journey, all those things. But my reality is I've been living this for a year and a half, and I've sold 2 K8s. And I've invested in Yukon for a year and a half. I bought 1 K8, then I bought a quad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's the disconnect there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I do understand what you mean.
And then like other people might come in and be like, boom, boom, boom. And please don't take this, please don't have any offense to these girls. I watch all of this team work their fucking ass off. There is no fucking other way to put it. The consistency and all the things we do, and we still haven't all hit 4A. So I'm not saying I don't believe in the business. What I'm saying is I'm witnessing consistency and all the things, and the personal development things, investing in yourself, pivoting, all the different things continuously for a good duration of time now. And I don't believe one of us are where we want to be. So it's not a disbelief in the business. I know it's achievable, but it's like gets to this point where it's like, how fucking long?
Yeah. And you feel stumped.
And where, like, what the fuck? Sorry, I've had this voice for 4 weeks now. It's exhausting.
Thank you for your share. And I love that this is a safe space for you.
This is the reality of it. Like,
Yeah.
that's not a fucking lie. That's the reality of my situation, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was thinking, and what the fuck am I doing wrong? Yes, I've just taken time off because I got to a point where I was like, well, I just don't even know what to fucking say anymore. And I can't actually invest any more energy into this right now until I actually just stop and refocus before I work out how to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Because at the moment, I feel like I'm burning my energy on something that's not giving back to me and my family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just like it's not, I'm just being really honest and transparent. That's the reality. That's where I'm sitting right now. It's not, I'm not saying, oh, I'm not going to do this anymore, all the things, but from a business perspective, as a business owner, that's a business perspective.
Mm.
If I want to do the credentials of my business, what I've invested, the time and energy I've invested, and then my return, that's a pretty fucking shit business.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Like if you actually like that's the business credentials. I know how to manage a business. We've got another business.
Yeah.
That business brings us in $8,000 a week. Do you know what I mean?
I know
So
exactly what you mean.
it's like I know the outgoings for that, and I know it's a time leverage thing. But do you know what I mean? Like I have to treat it like a business. Like Lockie was the one that pulled me into line with this, and
Yeah.
you have to start looking at the time investment or the different things. And he's not saying quit, but it's so true because it's like I don't want it to be this thing where it's like, I got to that point where it's like, well, I don't have the fucking results. So something needs to change. And it's not me not showing up. Do you know what I mean? So something's got to change in order to make this work. So I'm at that point where I'm like, right, hit the brakes and I've got to look at everything because I've been doing this solid for a year and a half now. I've been throwing money at it, right? I'm 5 econs deep, a quad deep, all the other things deep. And it's like, okay, so I need a return now. So what do I do to make this work?
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's throwing spaghetti against a wall for what, the next 4 years, the next 5 years? That's not a business. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
Like you said, even $7,000 a year for Econ, $7,000 a year, it's a family holiday. I need to be getting that $7,000 back and all those things. And I know what you're saying, but I'm not 2 weeks into the business. I'm not 2 months into the business. I believe I've got you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to navigate all that at the moment, like as an actual person that knows her shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, and there is that gap of all the investment, all the time, all the money, the energy. I don't want anybody that says to me, oh, it doesn't take me much time to post. Like, fuck off. Social media rules my life. Social media rules my life in the sense of I find myself living my life behind a fucking camera to capture content, right? Even if I don't use the content, everything's behind a phone all of a sudden. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like this, it can be a very big cycle. Like we've all found ourselves there if you're not really diligent with your time management on your phone and everything. You know what I mean? So, like, this is why I'm just like,
Yeah.
tell people to join my team so I can hit 4A.
Fair. Well, thank you for your share. I love that it was a safe space and you were able to share. You felt like you were able to share that. So what I actually wanted to drop into, I'll drop it into our chat afterwards. Jay Z shared tonight some questions that Beck Femia asks her directs before when they are feeling like they are doing everything right but not getting the results. And I would love to drop them in there. I will do that after this call. And then we can really speak into that. And you can really reflect and think, okay, am I doing this? Am I not doing this? And I understand where you're coming from. I really do. I haven't made a sale in a very long time. And
But, and I'm not saying this to like go, but you're for 5A. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you're still ranking up. So when was the last time you made a sale?
I made a direct K8 sale in about 5 months ago.
Yeah.
So, and I think everyone's journey is different, right? And I understand that everyone's got stuff going on, and entrepreneurship is not easy. It really isn't easy. And I know you are choosing your hard to Cherie, and I'm choosing my hard. And I have really, I don't know, it is a consistent piece, but you are being consistent. But you know, and pivoting.
Not the last 2 weeks. I just hit pause.
I know, but that's okay.
And
Maybe
it was
that's
so I needed it. I didn't even care. I was like, beep. And then it was like 2 days in and I was like, I fucking love this. Bye. I'm going out for a couple of weeks.
yeah.
It wasn't even a thought process. There was no guilt attached. And I was like, I have to own this. There's no guilt to this. This means I need a break. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I've been there, I've done it. I've had months off. And it's like, and jumping back in, it feels fucking scary and it feels like you're starting again and it feels like you need to start from the very beginning. And like it is I think as well is it is about pivoting. And I know we all know that. And I know we are being consistent and we are showing up on social media and we're doing all the things. But if that's not working, we have to find something that will. And it is, $7,000 is a lot of money. It is a family holiday. It is a family holiday. And when you're not seeing the return on investment, I get it. I really do. I've been there before. I feel like, and I understand that I'm 5'8", but that's not the end result for me. Like I'm looking at people who are about to hit, Megs and I started on the same day and she's about to go 6A2-2. And I'm like, fuck, what have I done wrong? Everyone's got their own stuff that they're dealing with. And I just think, um, I don't know. I feel like I felt like you have. I felt like, what am I doing wrong? Why aren't I good enough at this? Why is this not as easy as it says? But at the end of the day, and I was actually speaking to Lester about this when I got home from Soma, because I did feel like, fuck, how is she there and I'm not? And he was like, well, you're both on different journeys. You've had a lot of fucking trauma go on, and he really brought me back down to reality. And I was just like, the beauty of this business is you can build it in as little, as less, you can do 2 hours a day. You can also treat it like a full-time business and do it for 8 hours a day. And that's obviously where a lot of people are getting the results, and it's kind of, like I know Megs is like, when she's on, like I'm not good at this. And this is something I'm really working on is this is work time. This is birth time. This is when I'm a mum. This is when I'm a wife. This is family time, and actually turning my phone off, because I feel like I am on my phone all the fucking time too. I do. And I'm not going to lie about that. And I need to get better at it. But I also need to have blocks of time that I'm like, okay, this is for my business and this is for something else. And I make the time. If that means that I am working at 12 o'clock at night while my kids are sleeping, I do it. And I understand that that's not doable for everyone. And sometimes I'm just like, I fucking need to go to bed. I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. I'm running 2 businesses and have Reggie at my feet playing Lego most of the time. And I also do utilize the TV because I'm a no screen parent, but I fucking, like, Bluey is the 3rd parent at the moment. And that is okay. That is okay, because I see the bigger picture. I understand what I'm working towards. And the alternate for me is going back to a 9-to-5 job that is soul sucking and working there till I'm 65 at a capped income. So I would prefer to put my energy into this business for the next 5, 10, 15 years, however long it takes me to get to legacy and beyond. And that's okay with me, because I've always said that this is a life business, and there are rocky times. There are times when I feel like I'm like so good at this, and then I could be the very next day and feel like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm shitting myself about doing a webinar by myself on Friday, but I know I need to do it. I know I need to do it. And I know that that is the next step in, like, that's the next step forward. That's the next step forward to me. So, yeah, like Co just said, don't stop and start, babe. It creates bad habits. And I actually believe that people do need to have time off sometimes. And that is your nervous system needing that time off, Cherie, because you said to me you had no guilt. You didn't feel guilty taking that step away and enjoying that family time that you have never had. I know your story, especially with having your babies and not having Lockie there. And this is your time to be that family and really honor it and restart once you get back up there and you have actually settled. That's okay. And just acknowledging that that is okay, and everyone is on a different journey and everyone does need to have time off. It is just, like I can just see there that Co just said reuse content. I do that all the time. I'll go back like ages and ages or something that I feel like has actually been really, really, really good and I got really good traction on, I'll cut the caption out and change the video. I'll put it on like a single tile or a reel. I probably do reels because I hate everything else. I actually just do reels, and that's something that I need to pivot onto because I know that there are attraction with other things. But yeah, reusing content is a massive, massive, massive thing. And scheduling content. I know Sarah does that really well. Like she content batches and schedules it and shares it the next day. So I think just finding something that really works for you, but also honoring this time if that's how you're feeling at the moment, Sheree, because it isn't easy being an entrepreneur. It's not. It's also not easy working for somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just the not having any results.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
that's the main sore point.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like, and like I said, like it's shit. Like, especially when you feel like you're doing all of the things. So I'll share these questions that Jay-Z sent in the leaders chat this evening. And then just think those through and see what lands for you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, that's okay. Would anyone else like to share, or are you all good? All right, guys. All right, well, it was beautiful to be here. I thank you all for really dropping into the village chat over the last week and sending what really lands for you and what you think you need support with. So I'm definitely looking at that, and I will be getting back to you guys tomorrow with a plan going forward. And like I said, Tiff and I are working on something in the background as well. So I'm really excited for what's to come and to do this with you guys. And this is life and a business, and to be entwined together and all of those things. So I'm here. Message me if you need me. And I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful evening.
One more thing before we go.
Yes.
I was looking at the conversation script, I think, and it said something about we offer like a 30-day trial with Twerk.
Oh.
Is that a thing? Because I've got two ladies who are interested, but their technology is absolutely useless, almost like my parents' level of have no fucking idea about technology and social media. And that was one of their big concerns. And I've explained Twerk to them. I've about the community, all the resources you have and all that sort of stuff. I can, if you don't know Lucy, I can put it on the Twerk page and ask the question, because I just thought, it might be helpful for people to, I don't know, see what we have, the resources that they have access to at least. Even if they can't click on, go into, click onto everything, maybe if they just see, or because I was trying to think of ways that I could share maybe just screenshots of what they could kind of tap into.
Yeah.
I
know it used to be.
Yeah.
I know it used to be. So no problem. Bye, Louisa. I know it used to be a thing, especially when they first started. I don't know if that's something that they're still honoring, but if it's in there, it should be. So I would actually drop it into not our chat, Tiff's chat, just because I feel like that would be a benefit for everyone in there as well.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So amazing. Sorry, I didn't actually think to share that because it was something that I found about a very long time and didn't think that was, I thought everybody knew. So but yeah, when I first started, yes, it was. So that was when the hub was about 18 months ago. But yeah, just drop it in there and ask Tiff if it is something that is still relevant.
Will do. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
No probs.
Oh my God, that sounded like a Siri. Who said that?
Me?
Oh my God, it came across as no probs. Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, guys. Well, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow night, and I will I'll jump in that chat when we get off.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, see ya. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.